Welcome to the last podcast of 2022 for the Indian Doctor Show. We're going to touch on a few things. So, me and Karan have discussed how he's dying of a cold, the poor guy. I'm so glad he made it to the podcast. Thank you for joining, Doctor. I didn't accept a Christmas present to my flat because I was out being a good husband, buying clothes, buying food, etc. So maybe we should touch on that. And we did, because that comes under Confessions of a Married Man. Karan got fingered in the ear by his masseuse. There you go. That's probably the best way to say it. So you got to listen to that. Check that out. We also talk about Spotify Wrapped and a bit of an unpleasant surprise for me. Magsafe and why it's a bit dangerous in Apple iPhones for the elderly generation. That is one that's not worth missing. Definitely please skip through to that because it's important for the elder generation to know. And did you hear about the Google Trends of this year of 2022? There's some interesting shit in there. We may have missed a few out. If we have, drop us a comment, let us know. We'll see you on the other side. Laters. Hello, people. Welcome to this week's episode of the Indian Doctor Podcast, the last one of 2022, nearing that big episode 100. It wasn't going to happen because this guy on the other side of the mic to me, or on the other side of this screen, who's currently shaking everything like an absolute bonded, was ill. Right? That cough he had, that little sniffly sniff, cough, conk, whatever you want to call it. He was dying this week. He texts me, Indy, I'm 2%. Next day, Indy, I'm 1%. And I'm thinking, bastard, hurry up, man. We got an episode to film. And now he's feeling better. So, Karan, what's happening? How you doing?
What he didn't tell you is the response he gave me after the 1% text. So 2%, 1%. He put, die peacefully. That was the words of my great friend here. He's accepted my fate. He's like, you're not coming back. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Here we go. Let him mute the mic and let him cough up a lung. Look at this. Look at this 4K coughing or 1080p coughing. This is what you get, man.
Okay.
It's a miracle he's here.
Well, exactly. And I think in my mind, I kind of just forfeited doing a podcast this week. I was like, it's obviously not going to happen. I am better, clearly. And as most people will know who listen to our podcast, when you're getting over an illness, you obviously have the period where you're the worst. So that's when I was 2%, 1%. And then you obviously start to get better, but you're still not 100%. So I'm not 100% yet. And you can still hear that. Every day I'm getting better. But yeah, my taskmaster here, Indy, has forced me to be on this podcast. So I am here wishing you all a very bloody Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year, you filthy animals.
You couldn't have said that any more glum with less energy if you tried. Hi, guys. Do you want to have Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year?
I did it Indy there. that wasn't Indy. Oh my God, I'm bringing Indy energy to the podcast. This is
Mate, I bring all the energy, man.
Listen, get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
I
love you. Oh. Oh God. You know the funniest thing at the moment?
Take me through your illness journey, Karan.
Oh, no, we'll get there. But when I cough, I go into like a bit of a coughing fit, coughing fit, and I sound like a really old man. So there are people who have a condition called COPD, like, smoker's cough, right? And you can hear it in the chest. And when I do it, I actually sound like I've got that. And I'm like, my God, like this is what it obviously must feel like. But yeah, man, this is 2 years on the trot now. Like last year, same time. It just tends to be around this time of period, the pre-Christmas week. Everybody in our house just gets bombarded, man. So yeah, that's currently how I am.
Most people tend to catch the illness the week they're off. That's when it tends to kick in and you're like, oh, shit. And that's when everyone's Christmas kind of gets written off a little bit.
Yeah, but you know what? And I had this, I think I told you this before. When we used to do Bhangra Showdown, right? 3-4 months, intense training. It's not good for your body. You're eating crap. You're sleeping very little. A lot of strain. And then you do your performance. You give it all, right? And then you're done. Like, your body's like, I have carried you to this point now. But at some point, you need to crash. And for me, always, because I knew this because the 1 week after our TBS performance every year, there was a dinner and dance organized by, I think, Indian Society or something. And the Bhangra team would always do performance. the time I was in the team, I could never do the performance because I was like really, really unwell. Because that week after, my body would just crash. It's like, I've got you here, you've performed, you smashed it, 2-time champion. But now, that's it. You finish, man, KO, and I'd just be bed bound. You know? So Monday was the worst. That was the day when I went to work and I was like, I'm okay, you know? But then I canceled gym and I was like, nah, I can't do gym. And it's very rare, you know, so this week I've canceled 2 sessions. And from my side, not from my PT side, those are the only 2 sessions I've canceled this year because of illness. Bearing in mind, I have trained on the day of having vaccines, you know, things like that. Like, it's very rare that I don't train. Because even if I'm a little bit unwell, I'll go there and say, let's do something, right? We're not going to do 3 sets, do 2 sets. We're not going to do 8 reps, let's do 5 reps. Let's do something in the gym, right? But I was just gone, man. And then that night, I was rigering, so something we covered last week. I think it was last week. No, I think we covered it. It was in your flat, wasn't it? So the shaky. You remember this term now, the shaky. So I had the shaky. It was interesting because in that segment I was talking the difference between a cold and the flu. So I'd had the cold when I was at yours. Now what I've just had is the flu. Big difference. High temperatures. I was there in bed. I had like hoodie on, socks on, thick duvet, blanket on top, and Shindy's like, you're going to get too warm. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm really cold. Chills through my body. And then I got really warm. Like, I felt like I was on fire. You know, like that guy in Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four? Is that the superheroes? Yeah.
The Human Torch.
Yeah, Agalabanda. So I felt like that, and I was like, yeah.
Agalabanda.
I was like, shut up. We need to drop that today, by the way. A few times in the podcast. Compliments, Mr. CSK. You shut up. You're such a troll, by the way.
Compliments to my dad, man. Oh, wow.
Mr. CSK. I love Mr. CSK, man. You're such a troll. You're like, somebody. Anyway, you can explain that in a second.
Let's just stop and tell people. Hang on. So,
that's
Goran's a big fan of my dad. So every time I find a picture or I'm with my dad,
huge. Like
every time I try and see my dad.
Yeah.
Every time I see dad, I will sit there and I'll be like, let me see what I can do. So not wind him up, but let me try and show Goran what it's like living with him. And he's in the kitchen. I was working, and dad was cutting some onions. And he tried to cut the onions, and then it broke off. He went, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "What's happened?" So I stand up and I look, and there's a knife broken in half. So I'm like, "Well, now's the perfect time to take a video of him."
Well,
so I took a video, and I said, "What happened, Dad?" I said, "What happened, Dad?" He said, "Oh well, I tried to bend the knife straight, and by bending it straight, I broke it." He's like, "Somebody did it." I said, "Somebody, yeah, somebody." He's like, "Huh, somebody." I was like, "You mean you?" He was like, no, somebody. Then he walks off, and I started laughing. And at the end, he went, shut up, because he knew that he was in the wrong. Yeah. And now it's caught on with me and Karan. We say it all the time.
So shut up. It's so good. It was so Just Rain-esque. You had the Russell Peter bit when you're like, somebody going to get hurt real bad. So you had that bit, which you were doing, and then you had the shut up, which is really good. Oh, sorry, 1 second, guys. I need to get another cough out.
Yeah, go on. So let him cough away. But...
I'm back.
Dad smashed it. Absolutely made me laugh. Make Karan laugh.
Mr. CSK, yeah, really, really did make my day. Coming back to so I was Agalabanda, so I'm on fire, right? So I'm sitting in the duvet, just burning up, and I'm like, this is not good, right? Now remember, as a doctor, too much knowledge is sometimes a bad thing as well. So now in your head, you're like, Remember we covered signs of sepsis? I was like, is it sepsis? Is it so, is it just a viral illness? Is it viral illness that needs me to do anything? Do I need to go to hospital? And you got to remember, when you're a medical professional, your threshold for seeking medical attention generally tends to be higher as well. So you're like, no, I'll be fine type of thing, right? Whereas I guess, if it's anybody else, it's your family member, your threshold's really low as a medic. You're like, no, you need to go in. And so then I got my pulse oximeter out, which is something I'd bought during lockdown to screen everybody's, what do you call it, oxygen saturations. And first it was showing 92, 93, and I was like, nah, that can't be right. A couple of deep breaths, got it up to 97. So I was like, that's fine. Pulse rate 120 that day. So this is like you on the stag, actually. So I had the palpitations, like dugga 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 dugga, and I was like, okay, fine. So if I was in hospital, what would I do here? So if somebody came in, I think that's the story I told you last week about the barber who had the flu, who was, again, his heart was racing because of the same things. Exactly the same thing was happening to me. And I was like, well, I haven't got access to an IV line now to give myself fluids, so what can I do? Enter trusty red bottle, which is always with me. You should know, guys, this is like part of me now, okay? You know how old this bottle is? You know how old this is? We'll cover it one day. You got your blue one as well. There we go. Bottle boys.
I got the blue one. You got the red one. Yin and yang, opposite colors. USA, Team GB, whatever,
Superman.
man. This is
Superman.
us. Superman colors.
Superman, yeah. So this is 600 ml, and I'm like, okay, so you need to hydrate, man. Like, that's the only thing you can do. You need to get fluid in, that will drop your heart rate. And so I was like, all right, force yourself to drink. So sat up, feeling dizzy, feeling giddy. And I, okay, so lowered my head down. I was like, don't open your eyes. You're going to disorient yourself and you're going to feel more wobbly. Got the pani, started chugging on it, had about half the bottle, lie down. Didn't try to sleep at that point. I was like, I'm not going to sleep at this point. Just lie down, basically. Try and rest your eyes rather than sleeping. And then had the rest. And then that was the worst night. I didn't sleep till like 3, 4. Despite regular paracetamol, the fever was just, going and going. But it's just that one day, really, of that. And then Tuesday, woke up, was just washed out, basically. But the fever had essentially broken. And that day, we were going to watch the Way of Water, the new Avatar film. And everyone in my house was like, no, tu nahi jana, cancel kar de. I was like... And then Shindy was like, okay, there's one thing he will never, ever sacrifice. It's film time. He loves films. Everyone on the podcast knows this. I talk about films a lot. So I was like, there is no way in hell I'm not going to cinema tonight, okay? I'll be fine. And then, then just had sort of slow recovery since then. Like I said, not 100% now. But I'm actually happy to be on the podcast now. You know, after a while, you get full, man, and you have to... Podcast is our normal vehicle to offload stuff. And I think without that, you just...
Decompress.
Do you know what? Oh, man, like... I don't know who I was telling, but guys, if you're listening... Not if you're listening, the people who are listening... And thank you so much for listening, by the way. We're getting towards the end of another great year. And some nice YouTube comments, man. Do you know we had another one last night at like 1 o'clock in the morning? I don't know if you saw it.
Yes. I'll tell you why that came about off air.
Oh, right. Okay, fine. I was going to respond to it anyway. I like responding to comments, by the way, guys. So if you write a comment, and make it a very personal comment. I really do like, personal comments. I will sit there and read them. I really, really, really brings joy to my day. When I see somebody has commented, I don't know why you're shaking your head. Why are you shaking your head? I'm talking about YouTube. Not talking about
why I'm laughing?
Why you
No, I'm laughing.
Are you laughing or laughing? Tell me why you're laughing.
The reason why you're laughing right?
Is
the reason why is because I've done all the bloody legwork. Yeah, I've posted it all, done everything. I'm like, let me respond to the comment. I get there. Goran's done it. I'm like, bastard! All right, you beat me to it.
Yeah. No, but your comments are a bit bland on it. That's why. Like, it's always like, hey, ooh, yeah, cool guy. Ooh. Whereas, like, I try and get into a meaningful discussion, right? But you're right. We can tell there's a difference between when you comment and I comment, man. I'll sign it off next time. I'll sign it off. I'll put my comment and put wrong Karan.
No. Don't sign it off. Let's keep people on their toes and they can guess who it is who's responded. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. So yeah, what else do I want to
Did you see the film?
Avatar. Yeah, man. You want to talk about Avatar?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
I don't want to talk about it, but tell me, is it worth seeing?
Okay, so you've not seen it yet?
No.
Okay. It. I think it's one of those where you kind of, if you're a cinema person, you kind of almost have to watch it because, it's Avatar. It's been more like 10 years. James Cameron. It's got the the bravado, right? I think it's a bit long. You're talking 3 hours plus. Probably didn't need to be that long. Okay. The scenes themselves, the way it's all done, filmography, the cast, all excellent. Story. And look, remember, I like a lot of films. But I came away from Avatar thinking... So I won't tell you obviously what the plot is, but the premise for it just seemed to be too small. Like, it just seemed to be based on such a small thing, but they made a whole 3-hour film out of that one little situation. And it's a continuation from the first film.
The film has been in the works for absolutely years. They've been trying to get like a second one going for it, and it keeps getting pushed back. So to give them the opportunity to put it out there is probably any opportunity, any chance to get it out there was all it needed, really. So fair enough. I hope it does well. I don't know if it will. I'll be interested to see if it breaks even and if it makes money.
Yeah. I think there's enough, unless a lot of people are talking about it, to put people off. I think a lot of people are going to watch the film, definitely. But let's say, we had Top Gun this year, which absolutely smashed it. Maverick, right? Now that, from, it did the film justice from the original Top Gun. Like, it was like, yo, this is actually bad boy. Whereas when I watched Avatar, I was like, nah, it's okay. But they left it in a way where, like, they're teasing a third one as well. And you're like, really? A third one? Again, based on this small, what at the moment seems like a small, like, plot. And again, you want to stretch that for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know. But still, like, cinematic-wise, it was good. There's things we discussed last time. There were less issues in the cinema. That was good. No riffraff. No commentary.
Good. What was it positive?
Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. Yeah, I guess the only thing was, it's a 3.5-hour film. It's not a Hindi film, but they should have built in, like, an interval. That's like, everyone's like, yeah. Just to use the bathroom, man. Like everyone was just like, everyone went in and was like, yeah, of course there's going to be intermission. There was no intermission. So then at the end, everyone was just running to the bathroom, man.
They didn't do that in Infinity War or Endgame. They just kept it going.
Yeah. I feel like in Marvel, though, there was more, it's just more gripping, man. Like, you didn't feel you don't feel
the urge
need
to go wee-wee.
Right? Because your brain doesn't go there because you're so gripped. Whereas Avatar, you're like, I could wee. Music was on point, though. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Happy I watched it. But it didn't have to be that long, and the story needed to be better, man. There needs to be more reason. Like the first one, the whole thing was there, the whole premise was being set up, so like you're engaged. Whereas we have that now with the second one. So you're like, okay, so where are you going to take it? What's the reason to do X, Y, Z? Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that.
Did you use the 2-for-1 that you asked me for? Because that's going to lead me into my topic of conversation with you.
I did indeed, my friend. There were 8 of us, so I used 4 2-for-1s.
Ciao. I didn't even know that it was available to use.
Bro
you had to guide me. Tell me.
I guided you. You're the sheep that went astray.
Yeah, it's true. I was like, fuck. I didn't know that I could use this off the board, but great, I have. It's available. Wicked. So, Karan, to give you something of what's happening with me, I was on the way to my Christmas party with work.
Right.
You were messaging me this, and I was in a bit of a stress situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So, I jumped on the bus to get to the party. It was on the day of, I think, a couple of rail strikes. It wasn't a lot, but there was still, everything wasn't fully operational. Yeah, on the Thursday, yeah. So I'm on the bus. I've tapped in.
Yep.
And I'm sitting down. Cool. You send me this message. I'm like, oh, how do I do it? Fine. Sit down, start looking for it. And a person boards who comes and checks your Oyster card or checks your card and validation of payment.
Right.
And I thought, all right, this is fine. I've definitely paid. They came up to me and I paid on my contactless on my phone, which is connected to a card. Comes up to me and asked me to tap on it. I tapped on it. Nothing comes up. It flashes red. She said, do you want to try again? I said, yeah. I said, maybe I put it on the wrong card. I checked all my cards, tapped them again and again. Nothing was coming up. And I was like, oh, here we fucking go. They're going to accuse me of not paying. So she said, can you look for your transaction history? I said, I can, but when you tend to do contactless on a bus, it doesn't appear on your statement immediately. It takes a long period of time.
Okay.
Sometimes it might appear the next day. It might take 2 days. It might say it's taken 10p, but it won't give you a timestamp of exactly when you boarded the bus and what's happened until a couple of days' time. Okay. So she had to issue me a ticket and say, well, you haven't paid. I said, I have. It's just not appearing on your side. This is a bit of a flaw in the system. So, Karan, she gave me the fine. I had to come back home. I had to wait 3 days for it to appear on my statement. It appeared. I sent it off, did the appeal, and I got cleared. And they got rid of the fine and said all square, nothing to worry about. This is why I use an Oyster card. Okay, I'm vindicated. You're wrong. I'm correct. Thank you. I rest my case. Everyone use your Oyster card so you don't have to go through this Potte Kama Banga. Just clear your name.
Okay. So by using the Oyster, as in you're saying that the transaction is immediate and it can be found. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, when I go in the underground and I tap in whatever card, my charge comes up straight away. The full charge doesn't come up. I agree. But a charge comes up to prove it's gone through. But I see your point. Okay. So, but you said you went to Monzo, didn't you? I thought you went to Monzo.
No, I did. I did it all on my Monzo, but it didn't appear immediately.
Got it. So have you gone back
it was just a delay. No, I haven't been on the bus since last week actually. So I think I probably will go back to Oyster now. Actually, yeah, just to stop myself from having these problems.
What was the fine? How much?
Trying to swindle me for 80 quid, but it's 40 quid if you pay in the first 14 days.
Damn, man, that's steep, isn't it? Because surely, it's that person's discretion. If that person's got on and they genuinely think they believe you, for example, why not just charge you rather than a fine or a penalty, whatever, just charge you the same fare as you would, or kind of normally pay, like a standard fare?
I think they're trying to stop people from fare ducking and jumping on for free. So there we go.
No, well, good. You got it squared. So that's the main thing, isn't it? Good man.
Complicated. Right, no one likes traffic officers, fine officers, enforcement people. None of that.
Yeah, remember their work is based on commission, isn't it? They're incentivized to be mean and try and catch people out. It's the only way they get paid. The system is set up that way for them. Yeah. In fairness,
the lady was super nice. She was really nice to me. I felt bad for her. I sympathized with her because I was like, Charlie, you're just doing your job. There's not much more you can do.
You tell her she obviously recognized you from the podcast. She was like, oh, it's okay. I'll let you slide. She's like, I know you do all the work as well. So, I'm going to let you get away with it. She's like, your partner's been...
I should have told her my name was Dr. Jazz Mavi, given the address, sent the fine to you.
But did you
she made me show my ID because I'm sure people are giving false addresses and shit in the back.
Do the voice.
Which one?
So I'll be the lady.
Which one?
Right. No, I'll set this up, right? So I'm going to be the lady now. I'm going to ask you, what's your name? And then you need to say, hi, my name is Dr. Jazz Mavi. But you need to do it in the voice then if you're going to do it, right? Let's hear the imitation. Ready? So,
okay.
What's your name, sir?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Jazz Mavi.
Oh, God. You can hear it. That's that laugh I was on about.
What the fuck was that?
You see what I mean? I sound so old. Oh, God. It's like I'm trying to cough, and this laugh comes out. And it's just like this mixed wheeze kind of, noise.
I want you to laugh like that forever.
No, man. I was an 80-year-old man, isn't it? That wasn't bad. That's a pretty good impression of me, actually. I don't mind that. You did the kind of like at the end, like a rock kind of smolder look as well. You looked away from the camera. You went like this. You went. You think I did? When I talk to people, I just look away from them. Hi, I am Dr. Jazz Mavi.
Yes, I think exactly that when I think about doing an impression of you. Yes.
Do you know where this actually comes from? Do you know where I got this from? So when I was a second year doctor, I had a rotation. This was the rotation I started just after WBBC. Okay, so 2015. That gives you context, right? Got back. I had this new job like the day after we got back, and there was a cardiologist who I really admired. Yeah, he's a South African guy, a consultant cardiologist, and I thought he was so cool, man. I was like, this is the guy I want to be, right? And when he would talk to patients, like he'd go to the bedside, he'd put like one leg up, and sort of just lean in. It's hard to imagine it. No, he wasn't like imposing though. Yeah, but like from the end of the bed, and the way he'd introduce himself.
Okay.
I'm not going to say his name, but just imagine his name was Jazz Mavi. He'd be like, "Hi, Jazz Mavi, consultant cardiologist." And the way he said it, and he had this really good flow to the way he said it, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And he never used doctor, right? Because I found that right, and I found that really cool because I was like, everyone around the patient knows you're a doctor, but he's not having to give it the bump. right?
He doesn't need to
And
flex.
it's even cooler. Yeah, it's even cooler when he drops it. He's like really normal about it. And I was just like, and then when the first time I met Messi, he did to me as well. And I was just like, wow. I was like, I want to sound like that, man. And yeah, I think probably modeled it on that a little bit. And obviously, yeah,
I think
some
you
of it
definitely
comes from,
did.
yeah, some of it comes from MedX as well. You know, all those takes that we do.
It does.
Direct to camera. But anywho, so I have some other fun stuff to tell you about before we move on to our next segment.
Go on, quick.
24 minutes in. So more massage antics. So the Black Widow, she was around again. And so this is my final massage of this year. My Christmas massage, let's say. And so this time I went for the full 2 hours. So this is, I've had the 1 hour, the 90-minute, and then this is the 2 hour. This is like the longest massage, right? And so there's one bit where I'm lying on my back and she's doing like the temples. Oh, you got a question? Go on. Angie.
Were you ill at this point?
No. Don't book a massage when you're ill. I've done that once as well.
Carry on.
Problem being, I think I told you this, when you're face down.
That's what I was asking.
Your nose is fully congested and you can't breathe. And you're just like mouth breathing and you're making funny noises. And yeah. So no, I wasn't unwell. But yeah, so I'm on my back and then she's doing the temples, whatever. And then she's lots of tail or whatever, right? Doing the hair and the head and everything. And then she gets an unguli on and then she puts it in the gun, like inside of the gun. Like a, what do you call that thing you clean your gun with? Earbud. Right? And I'm like, I wasn't expecting that, man. That's like really intrusive, man. Like, I was like, whoa, what's happening here? Like, there's a bit of the ear here at the bottom, the tragus, which you can push in, right? Say you're washing your hair and you don't want bunny on your ear, you press that over and cover the hole, right? I thought that's what was about to happen. Then she put fingers inside the gun, like in, man. And I was just like, okay. And like I said, like when you're banda having massage, you just like, you don't complain in it. You're just like, okay, just whatever. So that was the first thing happened.
Invasive.
Yeah. I was like, okay, fine. That's never happened before. That didn't happen in the 60-minute or 90-minute. And then the other thing which is funny is, so originally she used to play her own music, but now I like putting my own music on. And so there's an app called Musi, which is like a free version of YouTube Premium. So you can close the app and close the phone, sorry, and you can keep listening to music. So I had this track from Crown that I like listening to. I had it on for an hour. And obviously, it's a 2 hour massage though. So after an hour, it just went on to random songs. But luckily, it was similar stuff. But then at some point, I was sitting there and I was really relaxed and like this nice like epic song. I don't know, like, it sounded like something out from Endgame had played, and you know, which is really interesting. Like it was really like hype music, and then she was like, you know, doing the massage, and I like really getting hyped up like she was Captain America or something. And but then this voice started speaking, and I don't know what it was. Again, it's not in my playlist. It's just randomly kind of whatever, and it sounded like it was like some sort of Satan worship. You know, someone talking to the devil type thing, and I was like, what? She's going to get really freaked out, man. She's going to think, Paniki, and I was like, nah, give me the phone. Give me the phone. I need to change this, man. It's like mid-massage. It's going to sat straight up. I was like, turn this shit off, man. I was like, what is this? It's like person talking to a snake or something, Paniki. So yeah, so that's what happened. So then...
Most men would have just sat there and tried to write it out and be like, this is my taste in music. Do you not like it?
Not me, bro. I'm not having her think that. So then learning point is, so now I've made a playlist within the Musi app, which is just for massage, which is like all these nice non-satanic tracks. So
good.
So yeah, bro.
Make sure you keep that on loop for next time. I'll be surprised if she comes back next week in like full gothic makeup, being prepared for you. Like, isn't this what you want, Dr. Jazz Mavi? All right.
With a cross. Back. Stay back. She's booked in for January, so we will see. Hugh Hefner Singh shall return. This time there's no pizza man. I think she was expecting the pizza man. There was no pizza man this time. So yeah, we shall see.
Maybe next time you can feed her as well.
You are teetering very dangerously on this line, and I'm sure when Shindy sees you, she will let you know. Sala, you can feed her as well. I'm going to send her to your house.
Yeah.
I'm going to send her to fix your back and your wrist and in your ear. I'm going to tell her put her ungli in your ear And you're like, oh, I can hear everything now. Operation ki lord hai, just ungli in your kan.
Everything is cuddly now. That's it.
Okay.
All right, next segment.
All right.
So, confessions of a married man, married Monday, brown Monday, all of the
Brown Monday.
above. Karan,
Hanji.
I don't think he has anything, but I got 2. So let me jump onto the first one.
Mera dil saaf hai. Tahi confession hai nahi.
Oh, shut up.
Hi.
Look at this guy being all babut.
Chal putt.
Okay, so have you got Spotify Unwrapped?
It's that thing that comes up near
Or
towards the end of the year,
Spotify
tells
Wrapped
you,
2022?
yeah, tells you about your year and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Have you done it yet? Have you got any interesting insights?
No, I've seen it pop up. I haven't looked at it. All I like listening to is, like when it makes your top played songs. Your top songs from.
Yeah.
Because I've got it from like 2016. I just, from time to time, I just mix that up. That's the only thing I like using it for. But go on, tell me. What's your
Got it. So I did mine. Mine was pretty predictable. I didn't have anything outstanding on there stats-wise. But my wife, Sanj, right? She got her stats back. And if I told you there was one artist that prominently featured on her playlist, who would you guess it would be?
I know who it is. It's
Who
the
is
goat.
it?
It's the goat, man. It's who I become when I wear the pug.
Who?
I know. Me, pug ban ke Diljit.
Name
Yes.
him. Name him.
It's
Diljit. There we go.
The goat, man. The goat. Yeah.
Cool. So, Karan, she's in. That's her most listened to artist. Do you want to guess what the next stat is? What percentage of fan was she in of Diljit's listeners in the last year?
Okay. So
In the top, what percentage of fans?
10%.
Lower.
5%.
Lower.
1%.
Lower.
Okay, just tell me now. It's less than 1%. She's obviously clearly
Top 0.5% of listeners globally.
Damn. Diljit needs to know about this. How is he going
Yes,
to be
he
made aware?
does.
This is the question Sanji should work on now, right? Sanju das de hun.
She's just giving him everything that she has. That's it. She's basically funding his
All the
lifestyle.
time.
Right?
All the time. He's like, I don't spend any time with Indy because I'm listening to you all the time. Huh? She comes back, she looks at you. She's like, why can't you sing like Diljit? Huh? Why can't you look like Diljit? Why is your luck not 28? Huh? Come on, Indy.
Oh, God. Let me just read the full stat. It says you spent 1,325 minutes together. I don't even think she spent that many minutes with me this year.
Yeah.
Let me just go through that. Hang on. 1,325. That is 22 hours she spent with him.
Yeah, bro. I don't think you clock up that amount of time.
I think I
How do you
have,
feel?
but you know,
how does it make you feel?
I was being hyperbolic, yeah. But that's actually mad. I've never seen a stat that large before.
You talking about hyperbole?
Sorry?
No, not hyperbolic.
It's the same thing. Hyperbole, hyperbolic. Same thing, no? Let me check.
No, it's a completely different word.
Hyperbolic meaning. Nope, you are correct. Hyperbolic time shaver. I was adding some hyperbole in. I got that wrong as well.
You clearly were. You some Dragon Ball Z shit there. Yeah, how does it
Mate, I keep getting that mixed up. Ever since you said the Dragon Ball Z reference to me a few weeks ago, I keep getting that mixed up and I keep saying it wrong.
Keep telling people to put him in the hyperbolic time chambers. Put him in there.
Boss, no problems, nothing at all. Yeah.
So how does it make you feel?
Jesus. Makes me feel like I don't listen to Spotify enough because I didn't have a number that competed anywhere near that. However, it's all right. It's all right because I can potentially look a little bit like Dills if I have a bug. So it's all right.
Yeah, you'd have to change your style. You'd have to go CSK mode.
Yeah, I would.
Right.
It's true.
That the special picture below your TV with the eyes. Look at it. Look at it now. Look at it now, camera. Look at it. You need to look at it. You know where it is.
Look at what?
No. Look at
What
the
am I
picture,
looking
man.
for?
The picture of CSK.
Oh, the
man.
picture of
Big
that?
Daddy. There we go. There we go. He's there.
Yeah.
He's looking at you like
Yeah.
this. ਏਦਾਂ, ਹਨਾ?
100%, man.
With the surma.
With
thing
with
is,
pride, with the
When I
galgi as
look
well.
at that picture, he doesn't look like that now, but you look like him now in that picture.
Yes, I look like my father. Yes.
Yeah, it's not a good.
I don't look like him now, but I look like he
more
used to.
like your dad. You or Bal?
Who looks more like what? Sorry,
Your dad.
me.
You. Okay. Jagga.
Definitely me, hands down.
Jagga is the one. Huh? Okay.
That's it. This is what I am.
Fine. So she likes Diljit. You need to become Diljit. That is the learning point. Correct?
Yep. That is the lesson to take away from this.
So
I got to
start
learn
singing.
fluent Punjabi. I got to
Right.
do worldwide tours. To be fair, if this takes off, we could do the worldwide tours. Let's be honest. So who knows?
We could have Diljit on as a guest.
My Punjabi isn't good enough for that. I feel like it would just be you speaking and me just nodding in the background like Churchill. Oh, yes. That's all I'll be doing the whole conversation.
It'd still be good, man. I'll be there, and I'm like, ਭਾਜੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਰਗਾ ਪੱਗ ਬਣਦਾ ਨਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਸੋਚਦੀ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਦਿਲਜੀਤ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਭਾਜੀ ਇਹਦੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਚ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨਾ ਸੋਚਦੀ ਹੈ ਇੰਦ ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਦਿਲਜੀਤ ਬਣ ਜਾ ਹਨਾ ਸੋ ਭਾਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਹਨਾ ਤੇ ਥੋੜੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹਨਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੋਟ ਬਣਾ ਦਿਓ ਹਨਾ ਗੋਟ ਮੈਂ ਗੋਟ ਬਣਨਾ ਗੋਟ ਹਨਾ. You know, there's another term my sister used the other day. There's the goat. And me and my sister were just debating something. She was like, oh, I'm the goat. I was like, mate, you're not the goat. I was like, if anyone's the goat, I'm the goat. And she's like, all right, I'm the boater. A boater or something. Have you heard of this term? Baddest of all time? Yeah, maybe it's just their generation. No. She said it to me and I was just like, where have you found this? She's like, oh, then she told me some reference. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. But I don't like it. It's not as good.
That doesn't float. No, that doesn't float. I think the reason why GOAT works so well is greatest of all time, but also you can use the GOAT emoji to say what you want to say. That helps the cause.
That does help the cause. You're right. Yeah. It doesn't fit in with any of these kind of terms. I don't know. Also, you called it right, baby.
My second confession.
Argentina.
Gone. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Jitte gaye. Although all these weird, controversial shit coming out afterwards, man. Every day I wake up reading about bloody Salt Bay. Salt Bay, man. Pagal, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's he doing? Oh, God. It's happening again.
Go on. He's rasping people. He's rasping.
Yeah. That's exactly what it sounds like, man. It's like an engine trying to start, isn't it? It just won't go.
He's sputtering. He's sputtering to life.
It's like, come on, jump start. There's a video, isn't it, where he goes to Messi. Messi looks at him, he's like, "You're right," and tries to walk off, and he's like grabbing Messi. He's really weird.
Yeah,
man. There's a video of him with Di Maria, and he's doing this. His thing they did. He keeps doing it. He's like, bro, you're just weird, man. You're just a weird dude.
I think he's trying to play his character more and more, but it's just not coming off. I think people are just sick of it now.
Yeah, look, when you're doing your bit, when you're in the restaurant, you're doing the performance bit when you're at the table, fine. But outside of that, just carry yourself as like a, cool guy, and I think you get a lot more respect. On that note, for me, man of the match, or definitely man of the first half, Di Maria. My God. What a dude, man. Doesn't play the whole tournament, pretty much. And just rips it, man. Rips it down that left side.
Turn back time with that performance. He's quite old now. He's 34.
Yeah, 34. Mad respect
but
him, man.
He played well. Yeah.
He played really well, man.
Good player. Yeah.
Goalkeeper. His antics with the trophy. What was that about? What was that, man? Like, dude, you're on the biggest stage. Yeah, just puts it in front of his private region. I was like,
he's just he's the ultimate shithouse. That's what people are calling him. And he just doesn't take. I don't think he takes things seriously, which is cool. Clearly. That resonates with a lot of people. He doesn't take himself too seriously. I understand that.
Okay, fair enough. And then the whole thing about Messi having to wear that robe during the celebration part. What were your thoughts on that?
I heard about the robe. I think people are torn, aren't they? Some are saying it's great. It's nice to see culture embedded into it. Others are like, well, why didn't you do that for every other tournament and embed their culture into it? So in Russia, why didn't they wear something Russian? Why didn't they wear X amount here, X amount there? And it's just, I can see how introducing something new like that will create problems for the previous ones. And now they have to carry that forward into every tournament. Otherwise, it's favoritism towards Qatar. So maybe they've dug themselves a bit of a hole there that they can never get out of. A lot of people claimed Islamophobia. A lot of people said it's just cultural differences that we don't understand. I don't really care. I think it doesn't matter. Everyone's going to have their own opinion. They're like, well, it's an iconic image. It's meant to be the image that everyone circulates. I'm like, yeah, it can do. Or you can circulate all the other images afterwards when he's taking it off and he's wearing the Argentina shirt with 3 stars on it. It depends on which one you want to pick. It's not that big a deal. But everyone's got an axe to grind. Everyone's got an opinion to make. People got to get clicks. So fair enough. Let them do their thing. What's your view?
Yeah, no, I agree on the same thing. And the other point, though, about, all this concern that people had about what's the tournament going to be like, no alcohol, as a country. Tournament was good, man. I really enjoyed the World Cup. I can't remember the last World Cup, if I'm honest, but I really enjoyed watching it. It looked like everything was safe. There was very little problems in terms of safety and hooliganism and all that kind of stuff. And I read something about Kevin Peterson. He'd written about how, when you compare what happened at Wembley, the Euros final. And, everything that happened, people getting in at the end on streets, compared to Qatar, then he said, why not host all events in the Middle East? And some sporting events have gone a lot more there. Boxing, you've seen, has gone a lot more there. There's a lot more money there.
I don't think you can do that. You can't host every event there because that's just blatant favoritism towards one nation.
No. But I think the idea of, I think it's accepted. Like me having watched it now, I'm like, yeah, okay. You can host things in the Middle East. It's not like, oh, can you do it? Can't you do it? Type of thing anymore in my head. But yeah, super happy for Messi, man. Like, yeah, he's the GOAT, man.
What'll be interesting to see is how Qatar looks in like 4 years' time. Next World Cup, what's happening there? Are the stadiums just derelict and no one cares about it anymore? And you just dropped a bunch of money for no reason, and there's no culture there, and there's nothing that's used as they haven't used it as a springboard onto better things. That'll be interesting because then it's like, well, you start weighing up, is this really worth spending that much money there for no return? And that's not to say in the future you can't use it as a springboard to push other countries up economically and make it more appealing culturally. I think it's difficult after the World Cup ups and goes. It happens everywhere. What stays and what sticks, it never seems like anything does. So then you have to question, is the World Cup really helping them, or is it just a flash in the pan and then you go?
Nah, see, this is the bigger point now, is what is their agenda, right? Are they going to produce world-class teams that win World Cups in the next whatever? No, that's not going to happen. But when I look at it, I'm like, okay, Qatar wants to build this image. I don't think it's about sporting excellence. And I read something yesterday, I watched a video yesterday about what's happening to the stadium. Some are being deconstructed, some are going to be converted into shopping malls and schools and hospitals and cafes. Like they basically got
that's
plans for
helpful.
all of them. Yeah, there's one I think which is staying as a stadium, and then the rest there's other use, so they're being repurposed, which is fine. But I think for them it's just brand awareness. We are Qatar. You can come here, come as a family, invest in us. Like I think there are bigger things at play here than the football is just the pretext. I don't think they care about the sporting side of things. They got enough money, man. So they just want to make more money. They want to show us them as an inclusive country who can be part of the big picture. That's the way I see it. And I think they've, at the moment at least, succeeded in doing that. Let's see. The whole thing about, using Beckham as an ambassador. And so they've clearly, he got paid some big ass money, man. So they're dropping big investments to get this stuff done. And now I'm going to cough.
But there were loads of empty seats at the stadium, so you got to question that and the accessibility of Qatar as a nation. And the other side, which is looking at the accommodation that people were staying in, it looked like a really bad fire fest, basically. So there's a bunch of shit that was wrong with it. It wasn't perfect. Taking the Beckham just taking the money to endorse it and getting the scrutiny. I don't know. I don't know if there is a way to do this cleanly anywhere. And all these campaigns at the moment about gay rights and LGBTQ and all of that being stopped over there. You can't wear the armbands. In America, where the next World Cup is, if people don't keep the same energy towards the abortion rights issue and in how in some states it's accepted and some it isn't, if they don't start having the same amount of uproar for that, it's going to look really bad for the media in general. So you've bought this energy here now. You've got to match it now going forward, because that's the standard you've set. Otherwise, it's going to come across as rude, basically, and as if you're picking
then
on
it will be
a nation.
like because you're Muslim. Yeah, no, absolutely. But we will see. We will see where the world is at that point, man, and what's causing issues. But anywho, confession.
I want to jump on my last confession.
Tell us. Yeah, I'm
last one.
You. Yeah.
I made a fatal error, Garen.
All right, can I guess?
I wasn't at home to accept a package, and the package that arrived was apparently my Christmas present. So, yeah, not cool. But the reason why I didn't accept it, because I was out to buy the food and items we've got to buy for other people for Christmas. So, kind of a double-edged sword. Yeah, so I was like, oh, Charles, I did the right thing as a husband. I couldn't have called that or anticipated it. Sanj went to get the present earlier today. This has been recorded on Friday. This is Christmas Eve. And they're closed until after Christmas. So she said, you're going to have to wait till after Christmas. I said, that's fine. And I got a bunch of other stuff here anyway from her. But I think she felt bad. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's cool. I'm not really that fussed. But I did the right thing. I did the right banda thing. That's all that matters.
You're saying you've done the right thing a lot, which is what people say when they're in the wrong. So you need to soften that.
I'm not in the wrong.
So let's have a look at this. So this is your gift from Sanj. Yeah, correct?
Yes. One of them.
So
I think she got like a couple. Yeah.
Okay. And so the gift coming, what did it require? Signature? Was that the thing? Could it not be left in your box or?
I think it's a signature thing. Yeah. It's a signature thing.
It's a signature thing. Okay. Fine. Okay. And in your building, do they allow kind of like, can you give alternative instructions? Like, if not us, please give to like neighbor or.
Say that again, Karan, it cut out.
So can you give instructions to delivery company? Like, if we're not here to sign, can you give to neighbor, designated person X? Can you do that?
I don't know. I don't know if that was possible or if she expected this to come in that format. The other day, one of the presents that she has got me, I signed for it because it came. I had to go downstairs and get it. And it said clearly what it was on the front. So I was like, Charles, I know what this is. And she was angry at the delivery company because they didn't tell her it was being delivered today. So she would have been home to collect it and sign it. So I sympathize with her a little bit.
Okay, here's the tip then, yeah? If possible, Amazon's really good at this. You can opt for the gift wrapping option. And then it obviously hides the nature
yes,
of
you can.
said gift.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Don't worry. I will speak to Mrs. Planner.
But not all companies offer that.
No, they don't. They should. I often, that thing I told you about when I do my Christmas shop, when I'm in boring and stuff. When I'm there, I will NLP people into doing the wrapping as well. I'm like, is it possible that I could get this wrapped? And then they'll do it's like when I ask for a hanger. They know they don't want to give the hangers like a next, right? They don't want to give the hangers. Well, and when they start going like that, well, I'm like, I'm sure you could. Right? And then you don't say anything. You just wait and you hold it, and then it gets done. So yeah. On that note, did you see that comment we had about NLP doesn't work on my wife? That was so good. I still need to reply to that YouTube comment. That was the
sound of a man who is struggling.
He has tried everything.
He is in the trenches.
Yeah. It's from an account, like a company account, wasn't it? Like a limited company account. And I saw it and I was like, bro, you definitely have tried everything, man. And it's just not working. So we need to give you some advanced NLP techniques, right? Remember, I'm talking to you, my friend, the one who left the comment. Like in Inception, it's very subtle. So if you go Inception level 1, sounds like your wife's a pro, man. She's going to see it. You need to go 3-4 levels deep, man. It needs to be deep-rooted seeding. Okay? Only this week, I can't remember the context, but I was with Kenny here on the dining table, and Shindy was here in the kitchen, and I said something to Shindy, and then Kenny was like, "Oh, you're a bit of a player, man." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, he's just, he goes, "You got game, man." He's like, don't hate what was that expression? Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah. Kenny was like, "Oh man, that's some advanced level NLP right there." I was like, "Bro, you know it, man. You know it." Shindy knows it's happening. It's all good. She still likes it. So it's that's when you know, right? When you're at that level, right? When the person knows it's happening, but they still like it, then you're like, yeah. Now there's no deception either. It's just straight.
I've made it.
Born together. That's a stairway. So yeah, Christmas presents. So yeah. So you were doing what then? You were buying Christmas presents for other people at the time. That's why you went home.
Yeah, so I was getting like little gifts, like biscuit tins, etc., all that stuff that you have to give out to other people, or the mitta, and a bit of Christmas food shopping that we're going to cook and take to Sandra's sisters. So I was out getting that at lunchtime.
You guys are doing a dish and you're taking it with you?
Yeah.
That's really kind. Yeah, I guess, because then the
by us guys, I mean Sanj, but yeah.
You'll supervise, Tika. He doesn't put the burden on one person to do the cooking, so that's quite nice.
No, I'm doing my bit. My bit is I wrap all the presents, all of them.
That's it. Perfect.
That's my commitment to Christmas. I do all the wrapping. I do all the cards. Yeah, man. I got full technique. Shout out to my sister. She taught me how to wrap presents when I was younger, and since then I've just learned, and I love it.
Go tell me, what's the techers?
What techers? Techers of wrapping.
Yeah, like what's your special technique? How do you do it?
I can't show you. Like, they need the paper in it. Yeah,
sure,
but
man. All right, first
basically, when you just wrap things tightly and don't have untidy edges. That's pretty much it.
Right. What I mean is, right. Say we got this here. I'll use my tissue prop here. So say this is the wrapping paper, right? So when you're wrapping something and you've done you need to get this in the camera, don't we? And you've done the fold over. When you're doing the side bits, do you do the two triangles and then lift it up? What do you do? What's your technique to the side bit? That's the bit that's.
I do two triangles, fold and fold again.
Fold and fold again. Okay, perfect. How many pieces of tape are you using?
The triangles must be tight. They got to be tight. You can't have looseness. They have to really tuck in nice so it has like a sharp edge. Yes.
Which is okay when the thing you're wrapping is like a nicely neat box. Where it becomes difficult is when you have these odd shaped things that you have to wrap, right? Where you can't then get the tight edge and you have to be like very creative.
When you have to wrap like a cylinder, hardest thing ever.
Yeah. It's the ends, isn't it? The ends are the problem. Do you buy wrapping paper which has guidelines on the inside, so you know the grid, so you can cut along it?
You know what? I never used to, but now I look for it because it does make my life
good,
easier.
Isn't it? It's so much easier. Literally now, I'm like you. I'm the wrapper, right? So what I'll do is I'll put my box on the thing, and then on this side, so I've got the roll on this side, and I've got the cut end on this side. I'll put it over, and so when it's over half, say it's a box I'm wrapping, I'll count the number of squares I've got on this side, and then I'll do that side minus or plus one or whatever. I'm like, this is lovely, man. I just count the squares. Bang, 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 bang. Love it.
See? Easy. Bang, bang. Done.
Easy. Yeah. Good. Chalo, Tika.
Back in the day when we didn't have these squares and you were cutting binga and you're like, wait, why is this side small but that side's like got loads of kitsch? What's going on? Right?
It's just a horrible world, isn't it? We grew up in, man. And what do you do with the... Oh, here's a good one for you, final bit. So you've done the wrapping, right? And you always have this bits of wrapping paper that are left, strays. What do you do with it?
So I will try and keep the strays on the side in case I undercut one. And then I can use the strays to try and tie me over.
Patch up. Yeah, okay. But after that's done...
I'll try and use them as patch-ups. Otherwise, it's a bin job. That's it.
Right. See, I think we've come to that conclusion now because I think we went a couple of years trying to save it for the next year. But the problem you find is it's never going to be enough on its own anyway, so you're going to have to buy more. No. And then you don't know where you bloody put the thing. You're like, oh, yeah, I put it somewhere safely. So, yeah, we've abandoned that.
You're taking frugal to a new level, mate.
Yes. Frugal living.
Yes.
Chalo, that will do.
All right, next section. You can introduce this one, Karan. Come on.
No, I like it. I like it when you introduce it.
No. I want you to introduce this one.
You
Go
are
on,
Mr. Introduction.
introduce.
So, no. I'm going to cough. Don't make me cough and wheeze and
Oh my god, man. All right, you cough, I'll introduce. In this section, we are going to talk about confessions. No, it's not confessions. This is the Doctor Chronicles. And Goran got a story that has been submitted to us by one of our listeners that they wanted us to discuss. So thank you for that. Can you, Goran, dive into the details of what you have found out and what you have learned?
Okay, so with some of the new tech being released from Apple, and I think specifically this article was around in one of the new iPhones, I think 13 onwards, they have, I think it's called Magsafe or Magnus charging, right? Which is basically magnet-based wireless charging. So it's good. It's
called
tech.
It's called Go. It's called Magsafe.
Right. Don't know where I had the magnet from. That's fine. I'm talking about something else. Magsafe, right? So it's to do with magnet-based wireless charging. It's obviously going to be the future. That's what we hope. Less wires and all that kind of stuff. Although I do love a good wire, a good Ethernet cable. Just want to get that in there. There we go, baby. Right, so, and you can shake his head as much as he wants. I'm going to give him a good Ethernet cable for his birthday. Going to give you a nice long one, nice 10-meter cable. Oh, yeah, baby. Anyway, so, just random.
Okay, carry on. Yeah.
Just happy, man. What was I going to say to you? Yeah, so what has come out now, and there's been a few small level studies that have been done by a few scientists, mainly in America, is there are people who live with heart conditions, which mean that they have to, unfortunately, have a cough. Sorry, I'm back. So there are some people with cardiological conditions, which means they have what we call an ICD. Okay, so I'm pointing to where the normal location of an ICD would be. So here or here. ICD stands for intracardiac device. So generally speaking, that's going to be one of two functions. It's going to be a pacemaker or a defibrillator or both. Okay, so pacemaker generally is something we put in if you have one of two things. Either your heart inappropriately goes too fast. Okay, goes too fast, that's not good. Your heart going too fast for too long means its function after a certain amount of time will become unstable, it won't pump properly, your blood pressure will be low, multitude of problems. So you run around outside, heart rate goes up, that's fine, that's appropriate for the response. You're scared, flight or flight, heart rate goes up, it's fine. I get the flu, beat the infection, heart rate goes up, that's fine. But these are transient states which then go back to normal. What we're talking about is if it's inappropriate and it's just persistent. So that's too high. The other side is if your heart rate's too low. So we get some people whose heart rates drop into the 20s and 30s, and then what can happen then is that you pass out, and then you fall over. Falling over and passing out randomly can obviously lead to injury. So, like a classic thing we say is imagine you're driving a car and you passed out because your heart rate is too low. That can be catastrophic. Car crash, killing other people, hurting yourself. Lots of things can happen. So pacemaker is to regulate that. Right, then you have what we have called a defibrillator. So in most leisure centers, restaurant, cafes, you'd always see, or you should see these things called AEDs. So these are the automatic external defibrillators, right? So these are the pads that we put on. Now those versions are essentially automatic, which means you just follow the prompts. It'll tell you when to do CPR, I'll tell you when to give a shock, X, Y, Z. So what this is an ICD. So it's a defibrillator which is already inside. So it goes to the heart, and again, it can deliver the shock if it detects a certain heart rhythm. So, for example, there is a heart rhythm which we call VT, ventricular tachycardia, which is what we call a peri-arrest rhythm. Peri-arrest means that it's a rhythm that we typically see before somebody has a cardiac arrest, i.e. their heart stops, they die. So it's a precursor to that. So what the defibrillator would do in that situation is it's based on its settings, it would detect that somebody's gone into that dangerous rhythm, and then it would deliver the shock. So you're trying to obviously stop the arrest happening, the heart stopping. So context, right? So a lot of people have these devices for different reasons. And the other third thing is if somebody has heart failure, the heart's not pumping too well, we can give something that synchronizes the pumping of the heart to try and get more of the blood out effectively. Those are three main functions. So the Magsafe, what they tested was if the device, so the phone, or there's a whole list of devices, and this is the thing I found afterwards, that's not just the phones. There's like AirPods cases contain magnet. Like a lot of the tech contains magnets, but I think this has more magnet concentration. If placed directly on the device, it was causing interference. So I don't think it was causing inappropriate shocking, but it might be that it was saying, like, suggesting that the sensor would be off. So if the sensor's not off, it might not pick up that dangerous rhythm, or it might not detect when the heart rate goes too fast, or it might not detect when the heart rate goes too low, or it will what we call pace inappropriately. So when you don't need pacing, you don't need something regulating, it'll just start doing it. And so the association was between that Magsafe and that. Now, when I was reading it, I was like, okay, but why is somebody going to have their phone there? That was my question. But then I read the article and they were saying that, like, the elder population, it's a thing where they put the phone in the top pocket. It's not something our generation does. We're still
right?
But then I read that and I was like, okay, fine. So this is where it is. And then I read, like, on Apple's website, the article you sent me, an article. Apple have put this disclaimer, which is about you must keep, this many inches away, and contact your physician. And I'm like, the thing is, like, even if if Apple says keep this far away, if that was me, I'm not going to use that device, man. Like, it's just too dangerous, man.
But how many old people are going to actually read that?
Well, exactly. Exactly. And then I'm thinking, like, okay, so if you're working in the Apple store and somebody's buying a device, and like I said, there's a lot of devices. But let's just say it's just the iPhone, right? The new iPhones. Are you going to screen people and be like, by the way, do you have a intracardiac device? Is that going to be kind of company-wide information they're going to, get everyone to tell people about? I don't know, but there has to be greater awareness. What the study did say is they need to do more tests. So at the moment they're saying there's interference, but is the interference catastrophic is a secondary thing. I think if it had been shown to be catastrophic, so for example, let's say you just completely turned off the ICD and it didn't work, then, like, it's a no-brainer. Then Apple need to, take those items out and they need to redesign the tech. But from their point of view, that's a lot of work, man. Like, you get to the point where you got something that is available to sell and purchase. That's a lot of work. That's years and years and years of work. Right. So now you're hoping, is there some sort of little, like, kind of patch, kind of workaround that you can do that does
no,
this? Or
there isn't a workaround that you can do around that. If it's built in, what can you do, really? It's built in on that. As I've said before, and I've predicted this already, they're going to migrate to Magsafe and get rid of the stuff at the bottom to abide by the EU changes that have come in, which is saying you must move to USB-C. So they're going to just change everything to Magsafe. It's not going to... I think they're at the point of no return. They can't go back now. They're stuck. So what's it going to take for someone to die until they realize that this is wrong and they need to fix it?
Yeah, no, what I mean is, so the MagSafe technology may stay around, but it's, say, the use of the magnet. So the phones going forward, you can use the technology, but is there for example, let me give you another example. So in an MRI machine, okay, obviously you can't use metals, but there are certain devices, ICD versions, that are MRI compatible. So there's a workaround for that.
Yeah.
So we know people are going to have these devices, and not all of them, or maybe there's special types of metals that don't interact with the MRI. So Apple need to work on that. And maybe from the ICD perspective, they're probably going to look at this now and be like, okay, so if this is going to be the mainstay, like you just said, then how do we develop devices that are going to be resistant to this type of tech? So, but yeah, you're right. The implications could be huge, man. Like, somebody has a device and it doesn't go off when it needs to go off, so it doesn't shock them or doesn't deliver what it needs to deliver, then yes, that could be catastrophic. So yeah, very interesting, man. Well,
Jeez, man. So what do you recommend? Just don't buy an iPhone for people that are of a certain age that have that in their heart.
Yeah, I think that's the safest thing to do. As in, don't buy the most modern iPhone. I think 10, 11, 12 are still fine. They don't have that tech. They mention it on the Apple website, which ones actually have the MagSafe.
I think all of them have the MagSafe. I don't know if it's more extreme in the new one.
But yeah, I definitely would. I wouldn't do it. I check with your consultant, your cardiologist, whoever's put the device in. Maybe you're gonna have to be an Android. That's it. Android have got the market now. This is it. This is a changing point, tipping point. Android gonna take over. There you go.
Maybe it might be, man. Jeez, imagine that, because Apple do build phones way ahead of time and they put specs together ahead of time as well. And I know that it's marginal gains at the moment and not much is going to change. This could be something that forces them to change their tact a little bit, and maybe they do have to stick to USB-C and create two models, one that is Magsafe compatible and one that isn't. That'll be a little bit cheaper. That is the USB-C. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, that's sensible. You should work for Apple. Some good suggestions right there, Indy.
I'm sure they've already thought about this. They got PR
So,
teams. They got
Indy,
people who
tell
can
them.
who
You
can
tell them. You tell
think
them.
ahead.
Mr. Indy, I'm going to tell you. Yeah, Mr. Indy. Tiga?
Let me make you an offer that you cannot refuse, Apple.
So I would like $1 million. $1 million.
Imagine that. So all in all, Garen, in a nutshell, tell me as to what you should do if you're an old person, you got this problem. Or if your dad or mum has a phone and you're a child of them and you want to alert them to it.
Yes, so read the paper. So the paper that Indy sent me, which is not long to read, is a small observational study. So read it and obviously make your own conclusions. It's not too techie or sciencey that you'll be like, oh my God, what are they talking about, right? Just read the results and conclusion sections and you'll get the kind of gist of it. And just be mindful. I wouldn't go for the most recent, almost the newest models, as it were. And yes, keep it away. Basically, don't put it in that top pocket. Keep it in your sort of trouser pocket. And I guess the other thing is, and I haven't looked for this, but is there some form of case that you could buy, which then again further blocks those types of signals and runs some sort of interference? That may be something that Apple develop as well. That'd be a quick, hack. It's a bit like, I was thinking
Quick
about that.
fix.
I was thinking about Magneto. He wears that helmet and blocks Charles getting into his brain.
Yeah.
That's where my mind goes.
Probably gave them inspiration when someone saw it. They're like, I got an idea to save the company. And they ran over and
Magneto.
got all sorts after watching X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah. That laughter, man. Too much. Absolutely too much. When he stopped coughing, I would like him to tell me the name of the article so that I can tell people to Google it and find out the name. As you can tell, I'm filibustering right now so that he can come back online, sort out his beard, get rid of the snot out of it. Okay, go on.
The name is in our WhatsApp. I actually don't know. You're going to have to dig it up. It's whatever you sent me to read. That's an insight also, guys. So even when we're doing the Doctor Chronicles, he sometimes does the homework and he's like, read this, understand this, please, and come and tell people about it.
Yeah, I do.
You do. Yeah.
I do.
You listen, you put a lot of effort, man. You're a good boy.
Bibapota.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the next segment. Go on. You die in peace. This section is Did You Hear About? So we're going to quickly touch on Google Trends. Garen, I'm not sure if you see, but every year Google, YouTube, etc. will put out a video and they will say what's been the most searched topics. And sometimes they will release it, or not sometimes, I think every year they release it in like a broken down format by categories of what people have been searching for over the past year. So reflecting on 2022, what do you think is the most searched, thing? I'll give you some categories, yeah? So let's go to the top. Which actors were searched for the most this year gone?
Will Smith.
That was in the top 5?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Other actors have been searched this year. Scandals. I'm thinking scandals are big news. Apart from Will Smith.
You pretty much got the Will Smith one bang on. Obviously, who else is involved in the Will Smith thing?
Yeah, it's Chris Rock. Chris Rock and Will Smith are in that kind of mix.
Not
Dave Chappelle.
And
Oh, Jada.
yeah, those are 3 of the top 5. Now you got 2 more people. What's been the biggest case of the year?
Biggest what's of the year? Case. Oh,
Case.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Johnny Depp and his Amber.
Mrs. Amber. There you go. Those are the top 5
The
and
5.
the most searched actors. Yeah, they're the top 5 most searched.
Nice.
Those are just actors.
About
Yeah.
the
All right. News events.
Ukraine war.
Yeah. So the news events, the Ukraine war is actually second. Wasn't the most searched thing this year gone.
That's
So
very
what do you think
interesting.
is around it?
News. Okay, was it pre the war or post war? Was most searched term.
Post-war.
World Cup.
No.
Okay. Something
News
to do...
events. News events.
Yeah. Okay. Trump, Biden, anything to do with them? Okay. Not. It's not going to be our UK stuff.
No, it is. This is all based on UK trends.
Oh, there's UK trends. Okay, so then obviously we had loads of stuff about the PM and the scandals and Boris leaving.
Didn't make it. No.
No, it wasn't Boris. Okay, it's not one of our PMs.
No.
Not
No, but it's linked to government. Practically giving it away to you now. There's people screaming at their phones saying
Cost
what it
of living
is.
crisis?
No.
Oh, this is one of those moments where it's really obvious, but
Biggest news event of the year.
yeah,
The whole of the UK came to a standstill.
What, COVID?
This year, the whole of the UK came to a scandal. Mandatory bank holidays.
Oh my God, how could I forget? Okay, yes. Harmonic past, yes. Okay, I forgot about that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, yes. Okay. Yeah,
Karan, you know what? This actually makes me very warm because it shows you do not care about the monarchy that much. So I'm glad us being 98 episodes in has finally come to me wearing you down to not caring about them. My heart is full. That's all I wanted for Christmas.
It doesn't feel like it was this year. I think that's what it is. And now that we're watching like Meghan and Harry, and it's like to and fro in time and things. Bloody hell! I'll tell you, you know what is going to make it. Also, it's not there yet, but Jeremy Clarkson's comments about Meghan Markle, that's bloody going to make it there. I'll tell you that.
I don't think it'll make it. No, because if I tell you the other three, you got monkeypox, Storm Eunice, and NATO.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. I'm not going to guess those.
There you go. What was the top search question in the UK?
Is it how do I or why question?
There's
What
an is, when, why, where, and how. So touching on the thing that I've just told you was number one topic, what do you think is going to be the most searched term?
When did the Queen pass away? How did the Queen pass away? How did the Queen pass away?
Yeah.
Why did the Queen pass away? Yeah.
Is the Queen dead? Yeah.
Oh, all right, Indy. Easy.
No, that's what's written. I didn't make it up.
I don't know, man. It sounds
Is
like
the Queen dead is the number one question asked in the UK.
That's not a nice way of saying it, is it? There's nicer ways.
No,
of
it's
framing
not.
that
But
question. Yeah.
that's the quickest thing you can type into Google, right?
How has the monarch passed? Is it confirmed that the monarch has passed? Should be the way it should be.
No, people are going to say, is the Queen dead? Come on, Goran. What's the quickest thing you've got to type in to get the answer? Right.
Indeed. Okay, fine. Yeah, that was the most asked question.
That's the most asked question in the UK. Going back to the news events one, you mentioned Ukraine. That's linked in here as the third most searched question.
Okay. You want me to guess the question?
What do you think it is?
The question.
Yeah.
When will the war end? Why is there a war?
Why is there a war? Yeah.
Why is there a war?
Why is Russia invading Ukraine? There you go.
Yeah. Standard question.
I still don't think a lot of people know the answers to that. I, for one, don't. Right. What's the most searched term in the UK?
You just told me.
It's the top 5 searches.
It was the monarch.
I'll give you a clue. We did one of them on air.
No, sorry. I thought we just said that the Queen passing was the most searched term.
That's the most searched news story or news event.
Right.
These are now just general searches.
General search. Okay, right. So it's a question. So you said one of the things has been what? We've done it on air.
We've done it live on air.
Yes. Not Sudoku. The other thing. The thing. Oh, shit. Wordle.
Thing.
Wordle.
Well done. Wordle.
Yes,
There you go.
yes,
Wordle was the most searched term in the UK.
Okay. That makes sense.
Caught
That's
fire.
not surprising. Yeah. And the second most searched
All right, number 2 was the World Cup.
Number 3 was Indian Doctor Podcast.
Oh, imagine that.
There will come a day.
Yeah.
There will come
Yeah,
a
there
day.
will. Searches, so if I tell you them, we got Wordle number 1, World Cup number 2, Queen Elizabeth number 3, Ukraine number 4, lateral flow test number 5. Don't know why that. Maybe because
People still
they were
testing,
told
yeah.
the government isn't paying for them anymore.
Yes, that's
Could have
true.
made it.
Mm.
What other interesting shit is on here? Tell you what, the UK is looking a little bit dry. Shall we look at the US?
If you want, it's gonna be more extreme.
You want to look at the US, innit? Yeah, you do. You want to look at the US. I know you do. United States. Here we go. See what was trending in 2022 in the United States. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. To be fair, we got very similar outcomes. We're both interested in the same thing.
Okay.
So, yeah. Actors most searched, the exact same ones. You got Johnny Depp, Will Smith, Amber Heard, Chris Rock. But you got Julia Fox. Jada Pinkett didn't make it.
Who's Julia
Got
Fox?
Julia Fox. She's the woman who dated Kanye West for a period of time and made it to fame and then dumped him and moved on.
Oh, okay. She dumped him.
Right.
Okay.
A lot of people probably didn't know who she was, so they wanted to search her up.
Makes sense.
News
Okay. Next,
events.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got the election results, Queen Elizabeth passing, Ukraine. Powerball numbers. Raw.
Hello.
I thought Powerball is a British
Powerball,
thing.
the
I don't know,
lottery
it's the
thing.
lottery over there.
Mm.
But they call it Lotto.
Yep. Which is confusing because we have a game here called Lotto as well.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have a thing called Powerball, which is the bonus ball, right?
Yeah. I read an article the other
There
day,
you go.
Andy. This lady, she went to Asda to use the toilet. That's it, right? Went to Asda to use the toilet. Came out, just like, I'll just buy a ticket. £1 million. That was it. She goes, I went there just to use the bathroom and walked out with £1 million.
She went there to use the bathroom, probably felt bad thinking she hadn't paid for it and thought, let me just buy a ticket. So I feel like
Validated. Yeah.
I feel like my karmic duty is done, right? I've paid for this.
Yeah.
And maybe I might get something down the line and then bam, £1,000,000. I'm like, yo,
Instant.
that was a very, very cheap piss you paid for. Think of the return on investment on that.
Huge. Huge, man. It's like, wow.
Man. Jesus. He's back again. Go on, he's coughing, he's gone. He's gone, people. He's gone. I'll keep talking.
I was
So
coughing so
top
much
searches
there.
in the US.
I couldn't even click. It was so violent, the cough, right? I was trying to move the mouse slowly to the bit to mute it. And I couldn't mute it. It was shaking so much.
The mouse was moving away from the
So
mute
much.
button.
Yeah. Like, I was like, no. No. Oh, good.
Oh god, carrying on with this in the US. Wordle is the top search term. Man, have you heard the Wordle story?
No.
So apparently, I don't know how true this is. People, please comment and tell me if I'm completely wrong here. But Wordle was a game made by a guy for his wife, and he sold it to the New York Times for millions. And now it's a global sensation. I've seen people play Wordle in different languages. You can do it in like Spanish, French, etc.
That's really good, isn't it? That guy smashed it.
Yeah,
Great.
I couldn't imagine playing Wordle in French. It would just define all the laws of vowels use, because if you get an E somewhere, you're like, shit, this could go in any other 5 spots, and it could be there twice, 3 times on a daily basis because they love it, don't they?
Yeah, but to them, that'll be normal, isn't it? You're thinking it from our English perspective. We should
Yeah,
get
true.
Punjabi Wordle.
Oh god, imagine that Punjabi Wordle and the missing
CSK.
accents on top, and no
Ooh.
chorus, the lonker, onker,
Yeah,
anka, not anka, fucking kanna. Sorry, all this stuff, man. Oh god, difficult stuff, man.
Punjabi
Bihari,
Wordle.
Sihari, I'm like whoa.
Design one, and then give it to both your
I
dads.
ain't gonna make one.
Give it to both your dads and be like, "Chalo tusi khelo." They'll be occupied for hours, man.
They would be occupied for hours. They'll be occupied for 5 minutes a day, and then I'll get told off for spelling something wrong. Okay, that's what's gonna happen.
Galt kita.
It's your fault.
Jagya.
You got
Jagdeep
this
to
wrong.
galt kita.
Galt likya, right? Get it in the neck again and again. Any other big stories out here in the US? I can't see anything worth it. Oh shit! How to pronounce? Here you go, Karen. How to pronounce Omicron How to pronounce Encanto, man.
The
Ain't
film
that difficult, bro?
that we used to watch.
Yeah, Encanto.
This Disney film.
Yeah,
Yeah, that doesn't seem that hard.
that's weird. Okay. How to pronounce Omicron. How to pronounce puzzle. Puzzle. You don't know how to say puzzle. How else are you supposed to say it? Puzzle.
Puzzle.
Puzzly.
I don't know, man. This is problem enough.
Well, how to pronounce Kiev or Kiev.
Okay.
And how to pronounce Qatar, because people call it Qatar. So
Qatar.
I understand that one. That one's fair.
Qatar. Yeah. Okay, some of them.
There's
See, when you
bare
said
shit
that
on
one
here, man.
about-
These guys got loads of stuff.
When you said the one about the puzzle,
Go on.
it made me think about that video, like from ages ago, which is like when a guy walks around in America and he's like, to random Americans, he's like, how many sides does a triangle have? And they're like 4, 5,
Oh,
7.
man.
And you're just like, bro, like, okay, this is why you don't know how to say the word puzzle.
No, it's not cool. Not cool.
Yeah.
I'll leave you with this one, Garen. They typed in who is X. What did you think was the most searched term of who is?
Okay, celebrity?
Cancelled celebrity. Very controversial being.
Cancelled celebrity. Stand-up comedy, or no?
No. TikTok sensation. Caused a lot of problems. Sounds like he's British, but he's not British.
Tate.
Lives abroad. Drives a Bugatti.
Tate.
Yeah. Who is Andrew Tate? He's the most searched term in America.
Wow.
Yeah. Followed by who's winning the election, who's the king of England, who is the Watcher, which is obviously from the TV show, and who is Alex Jones.
Okay.
Shit.
People want to know. Man. Yeah, definitely better than the UK one, huh?
Yeah, theirs is much more saucy, man. They got loads of shit. They got stuff in Spanish.
That's the right word, saucy.
This is
Much more
cool.
saucy.
Yeah, saucy.
Yeah, saucy.
We just have no sauce, no seasoning. They got all the sauce and seasoning, man. Look at all this. Man, sports teams. Shit, okay. I don't know any of these teams. I ain't gonna look at that one. Shortages, diesel shortage, baby formula shortage, tampon shortage, Adderall shortage, sriracha shortage. Man, that's a mixed bag.
So wait. We had Adderall, tampons.
You had diesel?
Sriracha. That's,
None of that's linear. None of it.
no, you're trying to link it.
You gotta think about my petrol.
That.
My baby needs food.
Yeah.
I need tampons. I
Yeah.
also need Adderall, and I need sriracha as well.
to put on the baby, right? So it's yeah, man, that's a puzzle. You figure out that puzzle. That's the real
That is a
Wordle.
puzzle.
You figure that shit out, right? You'll go to Encanto. Okay, there you go. Tika.
Mad. I'll leave it there, people. Any insights that people have seen on 2022 or anything like that that's really interesting, search terms, drop us in the comments and let us know. Thank you guys for joining us for this past year. It's been a pleasure. Next year is going to be bigger and better things. Still got more things coming out for you. Hope you have a great new year. Hope you had a great Christmas. And we love you guys lots. Thank you. We'll catch you then. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Garen, anything to add?
We're gonna be live next week. Happy days.
Yes, we'll do live in person next week.
Yeah.
Goodbye.